All right, what is good, my people? I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I just wanted to jump on here and provide a bit of a journey update and speak about why I'm leaving Australia. I'm going to be moving out of Australia full time. I'm going to be a resident somewhere else. It's crazy. Life is just crazy, man. Life is just crazy. I was only just getting started with all this shit this time last year, and really all I wanted to achieve back then was $4,000 or $5,000 a month, just replace my income and be able to live comfortably on my own terms. Get to sleep in, get to go to the gym whenever I want. Maybe go, traveling and still be able to make a bit of money. It's crazy to think, the moves we're making now and what is possible in 12 months. And it should be really exciting for you guys that this shit is possible for anyone. But basically, a month or two ago now, I decided I'm going to make the move out of Australia. I'm going to get out of my hometown full time. Obviously, I've been doing a fair bit of travel for the past probably 6 to 9 months since I left my job. But I always had the base here in Australia. But yeah, basically made the decision to pull the pin. I'm going to be moving to the UAE full time for a multitude of reasons. But it's a bit scary. Only being 22. Still feel like a baby, to be honest. Not really. Feel like I haven't really matured that much. I've sort of just gone from being told what to do, when to do it, to now, it's just running my own business, and it's pretty crazy. But honestly, for me, man, like there's a lot of reasons why I want to make the move from Australia. Um, Obviously, anyone who moves from Australia to Dubai, number one reason is tax, and you don't really realize how fucked the taxes are over here when you're working for someone else, because you don't even see that money; it's just already gone. But definitely when you're running a business and you got your own ABN and things like that, yeah, it's a fucking scam. It is fucked. So seeing that money or having that money back in my pocket now will be good. But for me, obviously the taxes is a big one, but for me it's more so just the way Australia is, bro. I'm so grateful to have grown up here. So many people have it worse off, but for what I'm trying to do, it's just the tall poppy syndrome, man. Especially in my hometown. I went up to the Gold Coast a month or 2 or 3 months ago. Now I was up there for a few months, just sort of locked in there, and that was all right. And the Gold Coast was pretty good. There's a lot of entrepreneurs and stuff up there, but you probably hear it all the time. Probably sounds cliche, but just being in, you can't grow in your hometown. I've grown up here my whole life, from where I'm from in Melbourne, in Geelong. Been here since the day I was born, so all I really know here is just comfortability and average. And then on top of that, the tall poppy syndrome. Shit still gets talked behind my back, and it is what it is. Obviously, I've learned to deal with it and cope with it, and I'm really happy with where I'm at in life. But I'd be lying if sometimes it doesn't get to me. And when I have been overseas or been traveling or been out of my hometown, that's when I've grown and scaled, and that's where my head's been clearer. When you know there's people that you used to be friends with, or people that you associate yourselves with, and you're not sure whether they're talking behind your back or supporting what you're doing, it does get for me. It does get to you from time to time. Obviously, you learn to deal with it and cope with it. But always having that in the back of your mind, it's not a nice thing, right? It's not a nice thing. And obviously, I speak a lot about not worrying about the fear of judgment and the opinions of others. And at the end of the day, I'm not worried about their opinion of me, but it's never nice when people are talking about you. You know what I mean? And even if they're not, it's just I've struggled with a bit of anxiety and stuff before. Maybe it's just me thinking that. But at the end of the day, it's I'm never going to take their advice or worry about their opinions. But there's a lot of that. And as I said, a lot of it is just, I guess, the culture in Australia. If you try and do something different, you try and make something of yourself, people will tear you down. Complete strangers, you gotta get comments all the time on the internet. And it's just shit, bro. It's just shit. It's if I have the option, and fortunately enough, I'm in sort of the position where I'm making enough money to have this option. Do I have to cop the shit, or can I put myself into an environment where it's just killers, people doing a lot better than me? If I'm fortunate enough to be in that position, so why wouldn't I go and do it? Why would I cop unnecessary shit? Why would I surround myself around mediocrity? And that's pretty much the biggest thing for me. It's just to get out of my hometown. Obviously, there's, a lot of bad habits here. I grew up, a bit of a degenerate. Whenever I come back home, I'm always more comfortable, fall back into bad habits. So that's the first thing. But a big thing as well is just like, just the culture in Australia, bro. And it really does suck to see, um, you know, how frowned upon it is to do something different, to post content, to, even like you see a lot with like even in the AFL and stuff like that, people give shit to like the top guys. And what people don't realize is like, that's just a worse look on people like that. It's like they're so insecure with where they're at in life. They hate their lives so much, but they're not willing to do anything about it. Probably because they're worried about, they've got their own insecurities. But then when you see someone else trying to do something a bit different, trying to break the norm, that's when they will like then, pour their insecurities out onto you. So for you guys watching this who are from Australia, you can't really let that shit affect you. And at the end of the day, people don't they don't hate you. They don't mean the shit they're saying. People are so self-obsessed. We all are. Like when we're all worrying about the opinions of others, we're all worrying about what other people think of us. We're so self-obsessed to the point where, our opinion of others trying to do something it's just the way humans are, bro. But I feel like especially in Australia, it's just not a good culture, a good environment to try and grow and scale. And it just feels like it feels like now 12 months in, I've sort of got to travel around a bit. I've got to see what other cultures are like, what other environments are like. I've got to even see firsthand the results I get when I'm home compared to when I'm in places like Dubai and overseas. And for me, it's pretty much a no-brainer at this point, especially with obviously the more money I make, the more tax I pay. That's a whole fucking rort in itself. But just the culture, man, just the culture. And that's, so yeah, around a week from now, I'm going to be making the move over to Dubai. And like in that space as well, in an environment like Dubai, where, as I said before, everyone is doing better than you, that's where you go to grow. You walk along the street and there'll be a Bugatti with a number one number plate. The number plate alone is $10 million. And you're sitting there making 30, 40K a month and you're like, I'm a broke piece of shit. Like, what am I doing? I need to work harder. Whereas when you're here, like when I'm here in Australia, it's like, I'm 22 making $30,000-$40,000 a month. That's like top 1%, right? So I was like, oh, I'm doing well for myself. And then you fall into that complacency and you get comfortable. And I've made a few videos recently about, how dangerous it is to fall into your comfort zone, and you got to continue to get uncomfortable. And this is another step for me to get extremely uncomfortable to take it to that next level. It's too comfortable here because, compared to everyone else my age, like I am doing well and I don't want to be in that mindset. I want to be in an environment like Dubai where everyone is making 5, 10, 20 times more than me. And that's how you grow because, you're just average over there. You're below average. So that's the plan, boys. We'll be moving from Australia. Obviously, I'm going to come back from time to time. I got family here. I got a niece. I got, obviously my siblings, my parents, my grandparents. So I'm still going to be coming back here. I'll probably come back here, every now and then, around Christmas time, and things like that, Easter. But yeah, boys, it's fucking, oh my God. If you said that, 12 months ago when I was just getting started, I didn't even know Dubai existed, bro. Like, Dubai, like, you're kidding. But yeah, on top of, like, there'll be a lot of travel. The biggest reason I wanted to get into this initially was travel. So obviously being in Dubai, like Europe has been like lifelong goal of mine to travel Europe. So now I'm only a Bali trip away from Europe, if you get what I mean, like 4 or 5 hours away from like Greece and all that. So, I am going to be bouncing from place to place, but basically my permanent residency will be in Dubai. So I won't be paying taxes. Everything I earn will be straight in my pocket. And I only have to be in Dubai one day every 6 months. So, I will be doing a lot of travel. But, obviously I need to go through those times where I do lock in because I found it not hard to lock in. Like, I still get the work done, but obviously when there's so many distractions around, it can be hard. You can always be doing more, and especially when you're traveling, you can always be doing more. So I'll probably go through periods where it's like, when I'll probably lock in Dubai for like 3 months. Then I'll go to Europe for, a few weeks, or, I want to experience a bit more of Southeast Asia, maybe like Vietnam and things like that. So it will be a lot of travel, obviously bounce back to Australia every now and then. But yeah, I just wanted to provide a bit of a journey update for those of you who are following along on the journey, who've been here early on, or maybe you're new here. You can go through my channel and sort of see where I've came from. I was a chippy this time last year. And it's crazy. It's crazy the times that we're living in. That someone like me, just, an average, like the most average person, can have the freedom, the flexibility to do something like this, especially, when I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed by a long shot. It just goes to show what is possible. Truly grateful and blessed to be in this position. Obviously, I worked to get here. But it's crazy, man. It's crazy to think, this is my dream life. Like, this is my dream life. And, if this isn't motivation for you guys, like, I'm not coming on here to say, fuck Australia, yep, I'm the best, I get to travel, I get to live my dream life. It's always, the mission for me is always to show what is possible. You don't have to be anyone special, and to have an impact and inspire you guys. Because for those of you who have been around for a while, you know me. Like, I'm no one special. Just grew up, I didn't grow up poor, I didn't grow up rich. It was just, probably bottom of middle class, and, dropped out of school, got it, like, just most stereotypical Australian life that I've lived so far up until this point. But, we are so fucking blessed to have the opportunities we do, to make money online, to have the freedom to make money from anywhere in the world, and sort of get to a position where you're in almost your ideal life within, I was there in 6 months. It's 12 months now. So if this inspires just one person to get started, start chasing your goals, chasing your dreams, it's fucking, like, just go for it, bro. Go for it. What have you really got to lose? Like, imagine I didn't go for it this time last year, what I would be robbing myself of now. Like, I'd be on a job site right now thinking, oh, I wonder where I'd be right now. Would I have failed? Would I be in Bali right now? Would I be able to travel? Like, little did I know, 12 months later, I'd be moving out of the country full time. But yeah, bit of a journey update. And yeah, it's crazy, boys. And I appreciate, all the love, all the for all of you who have followed along this journey. But yeah, I'll leave you to it. Obviously, keep providing those little journey updates. But yeah, boys, we're taking it. We're going to that next level. Getting uncomfortable again, as I spoke about. In one of my previous videos, just always seeking discomfort, always looking for discomfort, because that's where the growth comes. Obviously, moving away from my family, moving away from my hometown, it's going to cost a bit to get over there. It's all really uncomfortable. But, will we look back in 6 months' time and be at that next level? Whereas, if we stay here, we're probably going to, just stay stagnant, which we've been the last 3 or 4 months. We've sort of hit a plateau. We can't get past 40K a month. So, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's scary, it's risky, it's, you're getting that sick feeling in your stomach. But every time that I've got that sick, uncomfortable feeling in my stomach, on the other side of that is the growth that I was after. So it's just that step again. And for you guys watching this, obviously, the biggest thing holding a lot of people back is getting uncomfortable, is investing in themselves for the first time, is trying something new, is worrying about the fear and judgment of others. That sick feeling you get, that's what you need to start to embrace, because that's where the growth comes from. Because, you're not going to grow in a comfortable place, because, why aren't you growing right now if you're not? So with that, I'll leave you to it. Bit of a journey update, bit of wisdom drop for you. But I appreciate you all. It's crazy, boys, and I hope this inspires at least one of you to get started. So I appreciate you all, and peace.